All right, I'm here with Australian boxing legend, multiple world champion Anthony the Man Mundine. Chock, big news item of the past few days. Tim Tszyu's loss in his rematch against Sebastian Fundora. Did you see the fight and what'd you think?
I actually didn't see the fight, but I watched the highlights and obviously the pivotal moments in the fight. And yeah, I thought Tim done his best. You know what I mean? He done his best, but he just couldn't figure out the towering inferno. And I thought he got caught with a few heavy shots at the end of the round before it got stopped. And but at the same time, that was probably one of his best rounds. You know what I mean? So I don't know. They're the questions. Why they stopped it, I don't know. But they're the questions you got to ask Tim and his team.
What you make of the obviously Tim got knocked down in the first round. How hard is it to get back into the fight? I mean, Tim Tszyu, he rallied, he maintained his composure, got back in the fight, but he's been knocked down in the first round a few times now.
Yeah, well obviously, when you get knocked down, or the flash knockdown's pretty. You're shocked at first, and you have to try and regroup and get yourself back together and back to your game plan. But he couldn't get back into the fight where he was, consistently landing on Fundora. He landed a few good shots, but nothing that was gonna deter Fundora from his output, and that was probably what played against him.
What'd you make of the decision to take this rematch so soon? I mean, he had
I thought it was. I mean, I thought it was dumb. To be honest, I thought it was really dumb. I think it wasn't smart. It wasn't smart from his team and from everybody that's involved around him. I don't think it was smart. But it goes to show that Tim, was chasing, another title and another moment.
How much of an impact does this have on Tim Tszyu's career and his brand?
Oh, I don't know, not so much on his brand. I think he's done well what he's achieved so far. But I just think that it's going to be a very, very, very hard road to climb to get back to the echelons of the sport. Obviously, he can have some good domestic fights that can make him good money. Maybe Zarafa, if Zarafa beats Nikita, and maybe a couple others. But as far as the top echelons being champion, I think 154 stacked. Jared Innes is about to come up, so it's going to be stacked, man. He's not cut at that talent. That cut for that talent.
What did you make of the stoppage you mentioned earlier? He had his best round there in round 7. What did you make of the stoppage?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He must have been hurt. He must have been hurt, and maybe he probably said to himself, "That's something you got to ask him." But he's probably said to what it looks like from the outside looking in. Probably I'm not going to win this one. I'll just, call it off and live to fight another day. But you're breaking the fighter's sort of code. You know what I mean? Like you either go out on your back or you go on your shield. And I would never, personally, I would never have done that myself. But that's, like I said, that's the question you ask him and why he did it. I'm not sure why.
What about his team, his corner and trainers and stuff? A lot of calls to perhaps make some changes. You think he should change teams?
Well, he definitely have to have a look at it. Obviously, he's come off a couple of devastating losses in the past 3 fights, so maybe there is time to look elsewhere or see what if another shoe fits better. You know what I mean?
You upheld the sport here in Australia for so many years. so much pressure on you when you were fighting. You think that there's too much pressure on Tim Tszyu, perhaps? You think he battles with nerves or anxiety?
Nah,
How did you deal with it all?
I don't think so. I think he's a pretty confident sort of fella, young man. I think he knows, you know, he believes in himself. Is what I'm trying to say. Um, I just think, Fundora was too good that night last week, and he come up short again.
Um,
But I just worry about for me, the fight against Buckland was one that sort of maybe sort of derailed his mentality a little bit.
yeah. How much would that that Fundora fight and the Buckram fight, how much does it take out of you as a fighter?
Oh, it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you, man. It takes a lot out of you. He's got to seriously think about what he wants to do. And what I see through his socials and all that, he seems like he still wants to fight. But like I said, I don't think he's cut it at that level no more, man. This is my personal opinion. I'm not putting the brother down. I think he's done tremendously well. But you got Boots Ennis that's come up to 54. You got Fundora. You got Jamal, the Charlo twins that come back healthy. Like, I personally think it's still, he's not cut in that cloth.
Elsewhere, mate, Sonny Bill Williams fight the other day against Paul Gallen. Not the decision that you guys wanted. What did you make of the judging in that one?
Yeah, it was pretty, for me, it was pretty evident that I felt that Sonny one outpointed him. You know what I mean? I know it looked a bit ugly at times when Sonny was holding and whatnot on the inside, but as far as boxing, it's hitting and not being hit. If that's the sport, Sonny one hand down, and it's unfortunate that decisions still happen in boxing. It's just unfortunate that it still happens. There need to be more accountability. I feel on those when it's sort of obvious.
And your son in there as well. What did you make of his performance?
No, CJ, my boy CJ, he can fight, man. He can fight. The only thing is CJ lacks is experience, and he just got to get on the tools and sharpen them up, and get on the even in certain states he's allowed to fight amateur as well before 10 pro fights. So get as many fights as you can, get much experience as you can with the amateurs and sparring, better fighters, um, and more experienced fighters, and he'll grow. He's got talent. I've always said he had talent. I was just, the only thing I would query him on was the drive, the want, the will that I had. I wanted to see the same drive and dedication and will, relentless will that I had. You know what I mean? If he has that, bro, he can do anything in the sport, man. He can be champion.
Last one for you. Every time speak to you, everyone asks what you think your best performance was in the ring, Chock. Looking back on your career, what would you say?
Yeah, I reckon probably I had a few great performances, but one that always sits with me, where I felt that I probably that night nobody beats me, was the Green One fight. But the Eccles fight was another good one, and probably the Kessler fight.
Mm.
Uh, they're the three that stand out to me.
Yeah, nice. Always appreciate your time, Chock. Thanks so much. Always appreciate it.
No worries, my brother. CJ.
I'll catch you soon, bro.